What's up, guys? Today we're gonna be fitting 34s on old Betty White. Spoiler, this is after. She's already got them. She's over there. Shh. But I got a couple videos of me cutting stuff up. Check that out. We're gonna go through everything. If you decide that 34s are a little too big and you're not willing to take the dive into the cutting, check out my other video. It's probably whatever, tag it right there with my tall skinnies I had. Perfect tire. Awesome, no complaints about it besides it not being big enough and aggressive enough for me. So let's get into this video. Okay, first step that we're gonna do is we're gonna try to trim the plastic liner. We're gonna go by yay and follow, there's like a wool thing behind here, and then come down, and we're gonna try to just leave a nice sliver right here. Okay, now that we're all exposed, sort of the game plan is, this is the pin 12. This has gotta, so you can kind of see where everything's interfering. So, oh, sorry about the plan. So you're gonna see where we stop. We're gonna stop about right here, and that's where it goes flush. And we're gonna cut from here. We're gonna follow this line and end about center right over here. And then we'll worry about this, but we're gonna cut this and get this out of the way before we start messing with the actual body mount. That'll give us a little bit more room to work. Then I'll come through with the sander and fix that up a little bit smoother. But first, we're gonna start our cut. You're gonna see. So you line up the hole. You just cut it in half here. So what I did on my other side, start in the middle, straight down, and then I'm gonna do one lot cut here. And then I'm gonna go through here, cut center, so I can, and then cut right here in this corner, so I can pull this hole off. And then, since we're using a grinder or blade, so this is a 5-inch, which is now worn down, so I'm gonna throw another one in, just so it's nice and long. You go through, and then you just take a bite here, and then you can kind of hit it at an angle. You guys will be able to kind of see how I do it, but you just have to be really careful. And you also, before you start cutting this at all, take this off. It's I think 17 millimeter, hit with impact. Get it spinning, then you can just clamp onto that. I just got some vice grips. So I'm gonna pull the body mount because you do not want to cut your that body mount. But yeah, so I'll show you guys that. But it's looking good so far. Okay, we got our farthest line done, so now we're going to come across the top. Good idea is come through with a flap disc. Okay, this is our last step, so you can kind of see where the firewall is. Actually, I might actually take off. Now we'll take this corner off. But first we're gonna start bashing in this. It's kind of an idea where everything is. Okay. So we're gonna start down here on this corner with some light taps until we start getting some leverage on it. So, 4-pound mallet, Harbor Freight. Sick. So after all that smacking, this is still kind of our farthest point. So once we get the tires mounted and everything, we'll see if that gets in the way, but it's all looking good. So now I'm gonna clean this area out with a little contact cleaner and throw some Rust-Oleum black paint. What you really want to do is put some seam sealer on here, because that's what this is. But for now, since we're still messing with it, we'll just throw regular paint on. Make it look better too. This is the paint I really like. Holds up pretty well. And then, so while it's drying, so this is factory UCA, which is fine. Look how much droop. It's got plenty of droop. But with the 255/80/17 on the TRE off-road wheel, no spacer, I am rubbing right here. So that's definitely the biggest and tall size you can run without running a spacer and just regular wheels. So now that we're adding the spacer, we're gonna have plenty of room. Okay, so pretty much finished for now. Come back through while the plate on, but that looks good. Now we're gonna move on to spacers. These are spydertrax 1.25 inch spacers. The code, but super simple. These are the best ones yet. They're hub centric, so there's the hub, matches that. And then they provide some special Loctite type stuff. So put that on with all the threads, and then these need to get torqued to 90 foot-pounds. And then you drive for a bit, retorque them, the sort of, you know, the cycle. But I'm gonna get these on. And then, so that'll get it like kind of snug. Now I'll have Lynn step on the brake and tighten these down. I'll do that off camera. Okay, so we got the spacers on. We're gonna see how lovely this is. It's gonna start turning. And we're gonna see how much room. Yeah, look at that, just gouging in. Is that all the way full lock? Look at that. Okay guys, we are at the flex test. We're gonna see at full tuck if we're rubbing and what it looks like, because we got the brand new tires on. So in the back, let's start off. There is, I don't know, solid finger width right there, and like we were guessing, it's got real close right there. So 35 boys, you're trimming door. So back here, the bumper, we're real close to the steel bumper. But yeah, you can see where the stock body line is. So my bumper, the way I have it set up, it's a little forward, so he'll probably be fine in the back. Maybe like a little trimming. Well, that looks good. I mean, full droop. I mean, you can see how drooped out we are. And you can see the bump stop right there. It's pretty compressed. So the rear, perfect. So our front, it's kind of hard to see the bump stop. Actually, see if I can get you back there. So you should be able to see the bump stop. It's pretty compressed, but we right here, we're not turning yet. But yeah, so that's looking good. You can see how much frame twist we got. An even bigger gap between the bumper and the thing. So let me steer it, see what kind of rubbing we're getting. Okay, that's pretty much like full lock in the back zone. Tons of space there. Okay, so we are contacting, so you can see right here. So I'm probably gonna need to come in here and trim this back a little bit. And then let's turn the other way. So you can see on this side, we're completely missing because, you know, we're drooped out. Which is more, this is more how it's going to be when you're doing some wheeling. So, oh yeah, so right here, so full compression, actually we can see right here. Oh yeah, so we still have a bit of room to go in that bump stop. We're at bump stop, but we could go higher. But so full lock, we were touching that body mount, or not even the, so we're not touching the body mount, we're actually touching the firewall right here. So to clear that, we're gonna need to bash that in a bit. But let me turn back a little bit and let's see how that affects it. Because that's a drastic, like, that's full 90. That's gonna be putting a lot of stress on your tie rods and everything, so you're really not gonna wanna do like full lock. So right here, slightly off of full stop, we have, ooh, actually we could trim, so we're gonna trim that a little higher next to that bolt, but we're not touching. So that's pretty good. So, kind of perfect world situation. We can do a little bit of adjustments, but you can see how where we're rubbing at. This is literally perfect. This, you can't get any bigger without real drastic mods. Because I mean, look how center that is in the axe, in the wheel well. Like that's your. If you're getting any bigger than that, then you are trimming stuff. But it tucks really well. We do have a bit more up travel, which is fine, which is good since the bump stop's not completely squished. But of course, you're not going to be you're not going to be smashing through your bump stop when you're crawling. You're only going to be doing that when you're going fast and you're going straight. So that's pretty good. Let me pull forward a bit. Okay, going down, same kind of setup. And this is going to have more weight on the front end, so we can get it even more squished. So let me turn the steering a bit. Needs a shot. So you actually can see some of the flex. There we go. Same level. So yeah, we're right into there though. So not bad. So completely clear in the front. And full lock is really our only issue. Actually, we can see how far we are from full lock by seeing this part wears on that. So actually, it'll be on the other side. Oh. Oh yeah, so we're about an inch. So just an inch from full lock. Let's see on the other side how far we can go. Okay, that's touching body mount right there. So yeah, so we are losing like an inch of turning radius. So, and that's at full tuck. So full tuck, full compression. That's not terrible. Of course, we're gonna do a little bit of modification and fix that. But for a starting point, it's gonna be fine for doing most wheeling, especially for you guys mall crawlers. don't even think about this. Don't even watch this part of the video. It really doesn't matter for you guys. You can fit 35s with just simple mods, but it's gonna, there's always a little bit of fine tuning when you're fitting bigger tires. And then I'm only at 2.6 degrees of caster because I'm a factory arms, so I'm at a little bit more challenge there. But it seems not be the issue because my axle is pretty, sorry, I'm out of breath. The axle is pretty centered in in the wheel well. So we're equally binding in the front and the back. Of course, it's not as worse of a modification to cut out some of the front bumper as it is to bash your firewall back. So kind of give and take there. But I don't know if adding more caster, because caster would because you can, with SPCs, you can adjust the bottom forward a bit, and then that'll help you because, you know, usually you're trying to avoid your firewall. But in this case, we're trying to avoid our front bumper also. So we'll see if that helps. Eventually, that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go another inch up on my lift and then put some total freedom or SPCs for my control arms. We'll see if that changes anything. I'm totally cool with cutting. If you're going this size, you should be cool with cutting. If you're not, do 255 80/17 like I had. Literally fit stock, complete articulation, perfect. And it's big enough for what most people are doing. So, but let's get to another spot and I'll show you guys some other stuff and just how the final BMC looks and kind of what things we might modify going forward. So, next clip. So I'm gonna get you guys a kind of a noise impression. 65. So we got a light hum. I don't know if that's gonna pick up on the camera. It's kind of hard. When I was on the highway, it's a significant hum. A lot of people say that like Nittos and like any mud tire is like really quiet. They're gonna be the quietest when they're brand new. These are, you know, less than like 20 miles on them, and they're pretty loud. So if you're worried about if they're quiet or not, if you're, you know, needs to be a daily driver and you're not ready for the whine of a mud tire, do not buy mud tires, okay? Pick this size in like an all-terrain, and then like the Falcons are decent and stuff. That's what my buddy's got. They're just not what I'm looking for. But so a little bit of whine. I definitely have noticed a significant drop in power compared to the tall skinnies I had. Those, when I went from the stocks to those, honestly it was no difference. If anything, it was better because they're about the same weight as stocks, and with the weight of them, they're not that heavy, so you know, it's not that bad. And then the like size of them, like it kind of changes the gear ratio, and actually I feel like it drove better. I don't know how to explain that. But so that was an improvement. With these, steering's heavier, braking is worse, power's worse. Is it undrivable? Absolutely not. Is it better? This felt like, honestly, the difference when I had my Sequoia, when we went from the stocks to the 285 70/17, which is like a 32.9 or whatever, whereas these are like 33.9. It felt like that power loss kind of situation. So if you're used to that, it's not bad. Do I think I need to re-gear? Optimally, I would re-gear. You're gonna get your miles per gallon back, probably get back to like 14, 15 or something. I'll have to get some like long-term MPG testing this weekend, but yeah, I mean, who cares? Like, what are you, poor? But it's gonna hurt your MPGs and stuff. So, but the look is killer. So just do it for the looks, right? It's all the overlander points. Got rid of the tent, got the 34's on. That's how we're doing it. But oh, there's my my stalkers in the back. If those are still, hit me up if you want them. Or my stalkers, my 255s. If you want them, come get them. But they'll probably be sold already. They're really a popular size, and you can't go wrong with them. If you're like overlanding, you can fit them stock height, and they ride great. Good MPGs. They're aggressive enough. Go watch my other videos. I've done some fairly hard trails, and they did way fine. You're gonna be held back by not having a locker more than you're going to be held back by them being an AT or not being like big enough and stuff. So just have skid plates and those will be good. But these are awesome. I love it. Every inch matters, you know, so we're like a ½ inch taller or something, and it fills the wheel wells better. I think this is, from the groups, this is the optimal size for the GX, and I think the 4Runner is the same like wheel well for the 5th gens. But this is definitely the optimal size. I'm glad. I was really debating going 315, 70-17, or even a true 35 by 12, even 35 by 10.5. I don't know how those tall skinnies would work, but I think this size, it's wide, you get the look, you get the balance, there's decent amount of tire options, it's not crazy expensive. I don't know, you can't go wrong, because if you go too big, you're just going to be battling rubbing issues indefinitely. Like, as you can see, even with this size, at full tuck, we still have a little bit of issue, like a little bit of rubbing. If that we had a wider tire, it's going to be more, but you gotta remember, we're doing, with this setup, the stock wheels, the TRD off-road wheels are +14 offset, and then I have a spydertrax spacer, which I think with the math, it ends up being like a negative 19 offset. So we're running a pretty aggressive offset, where a lot of people would run like a 0 offset and bring it in with if you're going aftermarket wheels. I will say, my friend Kurt, he has this exact same size in the Wild Peaks, 3-inch lift, what is it, SPC upper control arms. He's got a good alignment on it, and I think I've got footage of that. At full tuck in the front, we were barely touching his body mount, so like a tiny little bit on the corner. So if you really care about rubbing, that would be your best bet. But you're really not gonna have the look, you know, and if that's what you're going for. But also the width is nice, and I like the offset. For a lot of the trails we do, you're like on the side of like a hill, and having your tires out a bit really keeps the obstacles away from, and the rocks away from your body, which is a pretty big deal. I'd rather have that, or I'd rather have a little bit of, you know, buffer. But yeah, and then you also have to think about, with both 255, 80, 17, and then the other, what is it? And then even if like any aftermarket size, you're not going to fit it in the third spare tire location. You're going to need to have some kind of spare tire carrier, throw it on the roof, throw it somewhere, or spend a bunch of money on a rear bumper. You guys, I haven't shared my feelings about the rear bumper, but I'm not super hyped about it, but it looks good. But yeah, so I'm kind of rambling on. Let me just give you guys some last shots of how it looks, kind of the stance, so you kind of know what you're getting into, and any kind of things you can avoid. Oh, one thing to mention, if you have stock upper control arms and you're trying to fit these, you probably will rub your upper control arm. As on my 255s, there was a small amount of paint missing on one of the sides for the upper control arm, so I'm not sure if that was like a full droop kind of thing where the control arm gets real close, or full tuck, control arm gets real close to the tire, but there was a little rubbing. So 285s, they're absolutely gonna rub on it. Which if you're gonna do like 3-inch lift or anything over 2.5 inches, you really need upper control arms. Even at 2 inches, upper control arms are a good idea. But for me, like, I don't really see a need. I like 2-inch, I like the low look, I like the low center of gravity. And with the stock upper control arms, you get full droop anyways. I'll link a video in the description kind of going over upper control arms. But if you're looking at this size and you're thinking about it, this is the perk size. I wouldn't go bigger. I wouldn't go bigger unless you're just gonna like drive it around town. If you're gonna do light wheeling or something, if you go bigger, you're 100% need a re-gear. If you go smaller, like 285/70, I think is a really good size too. If you like want the stance, but without like the rubbing and stuff, because you can get a negative, like pretty far negative offset and still be good. But yeah, sorry I'm rambling on. I got a bunch of things going in my head, but this is a good size. So let's get some clips around the car and just. Okay, let's get over here. So tires are pretty. Get a shot of how much poke we got. Kind of looking straight in. If you have a spare tire carrier, it looks bigger because this is a super wide angle, but that, I'll leave some specs in the description about how much higher it is. But I mean, actually I don't need to. It's a 1/2 inch taller, so do that which you will. But since these tires are poking out, you are 100% getting all of this is going all over your body. So if you don't like that, you know, don't do that. Do them in set. But stance looks nice. Get the gram shot right here. You gotta get low, make the tires look bigger. But yeah, if you guys appreciate me going through and explaining all this stuff, hit up my all my links thing. I got other stuff in there. I got some LED stuff, some new replacement HIDs you can throw in. Those are really nice. And yeah, please subscribe, like. If you have any questions, hit me up on Instagram. I pretty much respond to everyone. You can ask anyone to talk to me. I'll talk your ear off. So if you guys appreciate the video, give me a like, comment. Thanks. Talk to you later.